This CD player will change your life. Okay, that's a bold statement, but it could be true for many audio and music enthusiasts. It's connected with the CD revival, but maybe not quite in the way you think. CD revival? Is there one? Do we need one? When I can buy CDs at 3 for £1 or less at a boot sale, maybe there simply isn't the demand. Well, demand not from the masses, not yet, but from true audio and music enthusiasts, people for whom streaming doesn't quite make it. Let's have a look, though, at why streaming isn't everyone's cup of Earl Grey. I bet if I asked you to comment now, you'd say exactly what I'm going to say. Want to pause and have a go? Okay, on streaming, you don't own the music. You don't own it, and contrary to the advice of the global elites, you're not happy. You rent it, like you're going to rent everything else soon and die with nothing. Comment me that. But I'm blathering. What about this magic CD player that's going to fix all of this? I think I should unbox it. The S.M.S.L PL20 is a pretty ordinary CD player. I've reviewed a few, and I can't say that it stands out from the crowd. That's not a bad thing, by the way. There are many arguments that things that just get on and do the job, nothing fancy, are best. If I were to criticize anything on behalf of my viewers and commenters, it would be the slot loading. Whether this really does damage discs, I don't have the figures. But considering that the lacquer coating on the label side that protects the reflective layer is only about 1/10 of a millimeter thick, then surely, over repeated plays, it will get worn down. But that doesn't matter. Not with this player. It's special, and it's going to power the CD revival. Rip, mix, burn was Apple's slogan from long ago. You buy CDs, you rip them, you collect the songs you want and make your own personal mix CD of favorites. I think that was the process back in the day anyway. Ripping back then was a little controversial, and Unity is going to have words with you on that later. You should listen to what she has to say and comment. But ripping is going to be an essential part of the CD revival. You don't buy CDs and play them, you buy them and rip them. Then play your files however, wherever and whenever you like. This is a common thought among my commenters. They don't like streaming for the reason I've mentioned. And maybe the monthly cost, and maybe the audio quality, and maybe that they're tracking your data, building up your profile so the internet can send you even more ads and offers of subscriptions. So yes, if you like an album, then buy it on CD. You own it. The audio quality of CD is good enough for pretty much anyone, and you can play it as many times as you like, or at least until your slot loader wears it out. Or you can rip it. Slot loading doesn't matter because you'll only rip the CD once. All known science, so you say. Load the CD into the DVD drive of your computer and let it rip. Or, who has a DVD drive these days? I have an external drive that I can hook up to my computer. Or I can whip out my 2009 Mac Mini if the drive still works. But come on, this is the past, and not for revival, I think. And so I come to the special talent of the S.M.S.L PL20. I'll tell you more about what I think of the CD revival in a bit, and it's stuff that doesn't get mentioned much, so stick around. But the special talent of the PL20 is that it can rip CDs. I'm going to short-circuit my review by saying that the PL20 does mostly everything you want a CD player to do. It has RCA, coaxial and optical outputs, balanced and unbalanced headphones, and Bluetooth. I don't think I'll be getting into that, but it's there if you want it. Normal controls on the front, adequate display, no CD text, no gapless playback. What? No fast forward or rewind. Headphone sockets on the back, remote, there. That's my review. I'm sure that other reviewers will fill in the details. But now, the ripping, the USP of the PL20, which is why you'll buy it. At not too bad a price, I might say. There's only one thing for it. I'm going to rip a CD and play you the results. First, though, a CD that I can't play you. Good old Dark Side of the Moon. Ripping it, by the way, is illegal in the UK and possibly elsewhere. So let's do it. I'm going to rip directly from the player to a USB stick. Oh, I don't have a USB stick. They're a bit old-fashioned, are they not? I'm using an SD card with a USB adapter. So I start at the player, slot in the disc and long press the rip button. Or I can do it from the remote. The PL20 will use what the manual calls low-speed extraction, which seems sensible, and view the progress on the display. For this disc, 43 minutes of music, 15 or so to rip. That might seem slow in this hectic day and age, but for what I'm going to get, I'm happy to wait. And what I get are WAV files. Lovely, pristine WAV files that I can listen to on my computer, transfer to my phone, or even use to make my own mix CD. I'll need a burner for that. Maybe S.M.S.L will help out with that in a future product. But don't expect miracles to happen. Back in history, it didn't occur to Philips and Sony to make album and track naming metadata part of the standard CD format. So these lovely WAV files come through as track 1, track 2, etc. You'll have to fix that yourself. It is fixable, though. I had to play with the Picard software by Music Brains, and it added album artwork and track names to the metadata, with an option to automatically change the file names too, which seems to me like a good idea. I'd say, though, that anyone with 1,000 CDs to rip should probably work out a process that's simple and reliable and suited to their own needs. Maybe commenters can tell us what they think on this. Now you want to hear something, don't you? I have here a CDR of a recording I made sometime back in the 1990s. I don't have the exact date. The artist is Argentine guitarist, singer and composer Eduardo Falú. And I think the venue was St. John's Smith Square in London, which we now apparently call Smith Square Hall. The recording was made to 16-bit, 44.1 kHz DAT. What I'll say about Eduardo Falú is that he was incredibly popular among the South American audience. And today, with nearly 67,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, he's worth a listen. This is what streaming is good for. Or buy his CDs with my affiliate link in the description. So I'll go through the ripping procedure again, which I have to say is blissfully easy. And I have to say that I prefer a one-touch rip to USB rather than having to hook up to a computer and mess about with probably messy software. Let's take a listen. I'll come back to the issue of the CD revival. Why should you want to own and rip your CDs rather than subscribe to a streaming service? Yes, I know the answer. You want to own your music so the streaming service can't take it away. But is Spotify ever going to take Dark Side of the Moon away? I think that's unlikely. But what they do take away is, well, go take a look. Anything with any age that you might want to listen to is, yay, remastered, as though that's a good thing. It can be a good thing. David Bowie's Heroes I suggest as an example. But even so, you might prefer the original, and that's what they're taking away. But you know what usually happens with remastering. Louder is better. Make it loud. Make it louder than that other stupidly loud album. So if you don't want the remastered version of your favourite album, or maybe the first remaster is the one you prefer, you probably won't find what you want on streaming. but you will find it if you search hard enough on CD. Okay, that's my point, and I'm sure I'll expand on it in a future video. Commenters, what say you? See you soon.
Now, just before you start ripping your CDs, consider this. In the US, although there's no specific statute that says you can do this, it's generally considered fair use if you are format shifting for your own enjoyment. In the UK, however, you would need the copyright owner's permission to rip your CDs legally, although in practice it's very unlikely that anyone would bother you. Again, for your own personal use. Rules may differ elsewhere. What is not okay, though, is ripping a CD, then selling or giving it away. You've made an additional copy and the artist didn't get paid. You might think that Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift have enough money. But what about the up-and-coming artist or band that sells maybe only 1,000 copies? Each copy sold helps pay for their future recording, manufacturing and promotion costs, or even fuel for transport to their next gig. If you rip their CD and sell or give it away, you've deprived that artist or band of money that would rightfully be theirs to invest in the future of music. So, would you steal money from the future of music? I sincerely hope not. Music depends on these new artists being able to continue to write and record. Do you want to be someone standing in the way of that? So rip your CDs for your own use, keep the discs. And if you should sell or donate a disc in future, it's your responsibility for the good of music to delete the rip. Happy ripping.